Bitches get stuff done, that's a fact. Unapologetic on the attack.
Hello, bitches. It's Heather Ryan coming to you from Des Moines, Iowa.
I'm Blythe Potter from Bargersville, Indiana.
This is the Bitches Get Stuff Done podcast, and we now have podcasts available wherever you get podcasts.
Woo-hoo!
So tell your friends, family, neighbors, strangers, everybody that you can find us on everywhere, not just Apple iTunes anymore. We're everywhere. Oh my God.
That's so exciting.
I'm so excited. When we finally figured out how to do it, Blythe, I can't even tell you, I almost cried.
Well, how did you figure it out?
I had to send a note to Podbean and say, what are we doing wrong?
Support, help me.
And I tried and tried. I'm like, why can't we get on all the different platforms? And oh my God, I can't tell you. It took me literally like a month and a half, 2 months, however long we've been doing this. And I think we've been doing this since January, man. Like, seriously.
Have we really? Good for us.
We have. Now, there is one hiccup, and that is that because I wanted to get on all the platforms, it erased some of our videos that we did a long time ago. We still have them. They're still available. But I'd have to convert them into MP3s to re-upload them. I'm not sure if I'm willing to put that kind of work into them. They weren't that great anyway.
I don't know that it is worth it.
Yeah. We've got other stuff.
Mostly because so much has changed so quickly. Like the most important thing you can take from any of these is if you want to get involved, go to our website, bitchesgetstuffdone.org or HoosierBitchesGetStuffDone.org, and we will plug you in. I promise.
100%, yes. So these won't be available, at least for the meantime, on video. They'll only be available on MP3. So I will have to upload them separately to YouTube. Perfectly fine by me. But we are available on all the platforms now. So that's the first thing I wanted to share. Yay! I'm so happy.
Yay! Thank you for doing that.
Oh my God. No, it's my pleasure. Truly. I'm just glad it's done. Okay, so we're going to start out. This is such a packed episode. I mean, I don't want it to last like 4 hours, so we're going to have to like go from topic to topic to topic. I'll just say, shut up, Blythe, let's go on.
Yeah, we got
and you can do the
this.
same to me. Shut up, Heather, we need to move on.
We got this.
So first I want to just give a quick, fast update to our legal case. We had a pretrial hearing. If you don't remember, we got arrested at the Iowa State Capitol building. Jeez, I did get pushed out of the Iowa State Fair, but that's not the same time. Iowa State Capitol building for peacefully protesting on February the 5th. And that was one of the 50-51 events. We were the only 3 in the entire nation who got arrested on that day, which is just crazy to think about. So anyway, they did charge us with interfering with an official act. And that's a simple misdemeanor, but we chose to go to trial. We chose a jury trial. So this past Friday was our pretrial hearing for a motion to dismiss. Because they really don't have any evidence, like none. Like it's bad, like bad. You can even see on their body cam footage that they are trying to decide what to charge us with because we didn't break any laws. And all the body cam footage is so damning. I mean, it's really bad. So our attorney was saying, you know what? You have to prove that they broke a law before you can actually charge them with this. And she laid it out beautifully. And she's like, they have a First Amendment right to speak. And because of that, you have to prove that besides that, they broke a law. And they never did. They never even argued that we broke a law. They're just saying that because we called them Nazis, those are quote unquote fighting words. And because we must have hurt the other people's feelings, that's worthy of being arrested. That's their whole argument. It's a terrible argument. But the judge
That's not even how that works. And
you would think.
Name calling, now you can get arrested for name calling.
Why isn't Trump in prison? And that was our attorney's point too. He's built an entire career off of calling people names, whether they're true or not.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that, he wouldn't be where he is. Not to mention, there is a Nazi movement and people are sympathetic with that Nazi movement in the United States, and there is a party. So it is not even that far-fetched to call them Nazis, and they might be Nazis. It's not even that far-fetched.
You could probably get their names and we could do some deep diving to see if they do identify that way. I would almost bet at least one of them who made that decision, you can back it up.
Probably, yeah. So anyway, we were calling the Moms Against Liberty Nazis. We weren't even calling the coppers Nazis. So, because that's where we were. We were protesting a Moms for Liberty event in the Capitol after the 50-51 event. So our attorney makes all these arguments and the judge says, no. No, you're making constitutional arguments. Constitutional arguments have to be made in front of a jury. And so you have to go to trial. But I don't understand how any of that works, not going to lie, because I thought the Constitution is how the laws were made in the first place. So isn't every case a constitutional case?
I would assume either state or federal. I truly don't know. But here's the thing. I think this could work in your favor for many reasons.
Mhm.
One, this could, going forward the next several years of everyone protesting and rallying, this could easily set precedent because this is not going to be isolated. Particularly, if they had just like charged you with that with no trial, other states could be like, well, in Iowa, they did this. So you said Nazi, you're getting locked up. So I think it could be a good thing. You should win.
Yeah.
I don't see a world in which they don't. But this could actually be really damning for those cops or even the Moms for Liberty. Because if you start looking up the people who were there and tracking their history of white supremacy, it's going to be bad for them in the press.
Sure, absolutely.
But it could be good for you in the press in the long run, too.
It does not make sense to me why they're still pursuing this. I really don't get it. I genuinely don't. I would, if I was a prosecuting attorney, I'd be like, oh, we are screwed. Because they've seen the same footage that we've seen.
Yeah.
And they've seen that those cops specifically targeted me by name, by physical appearance, everything about my physical being, they said on camera. And they were planning to arrest me no matter what. Now, in court, they were trying to say, oh, well, we see you on a body cam footage pushing a cop. Bitch, have you seen me? I'm all of 5'3", this little old fat lady. I am not pushing one of these behemoth troopers. It's not even realistic. So I think that might be their excuse, but you can see from the time we got there until the time they arrested me, they always planned to arrest me. So I don't know why, but they decided they're going to go to trial with it. The trial will be on July 14th. That's Bastille Day. 9 o'clock in the morning at the Polk County Justice Center. So anybody wants to go, it's open to the public. Highly recommend. It'll be certainly entertaining.
It will be entertaining.
Yes.
For
so
sure.
That's my little update. Did you want to give some updates on your side or should we jump?
Yes. So we had our very first 5051 adjacent protest in Johnson County yesterday. We had 126 people show up. Franklin College sent 2 reporters from their student staff. The Daily Journal had 2 reporters there. One of them was one of the editors, which is a big deal because the Daily Journal was there with us almost the entire 2 hours. And wow. It was amazing. There were some counter protesters who were videoing us and trying to not cause problem, but I think they were trying to intimidate us. We outlasted them. Their biggest complaint is they thought that 8647 means we want Donald Trump to die. No, that is military or even service industry jargon for saying we're not doing this or get rid of it or it's not able to be used any longer. And they also claimed that the people who were there were not from Franklin or Johnson County, which we shortly after that proved that everyone there is from Johnson County. So it was great.
And not that it would have mattered. Not that it would have mattered, right?
It doesn't, but if they want to make those, I actually like that I knew that was what their complaints were. Mm-hmm. Because if it gets published, now they know this is, well, it doesn't matter. We give truth all the time and they think we're lying, but
yeah, true.
Some of these people do still listen to what is being written in the Daily Journal. So I think it's good. I'm very excited. I'm working on what will be for the June 6th and 7th and June 14th. We will do something local. I just haven't quite ironed that out yet, but HoosierBitchesGetStuffDone.org. I will put all that on there. You can add yourself to the email list too. No, it was great. I'm very happy. It was very good.
Yeah, you did a great live. Yeah, fantastic live. So if you guys don't, if you're listening to this and you don't already follow me or Blythe on TikTok, you should follow both of us. Blythe is at Friends of Blythe Potter on TikTok, and I am, of course, at Us Bitches Get Stuff Done on TikTok. And we go live. I go live pretty much every event I go to.
Same.
I figure if there's 500 people at the event or five people at the event, you go live and you can share it with thousands of people. So yeah. I do that as much as I possibly can. So I highly encourage anybody to watch our lives whenever you can.
Well, and it's good to document too, because the lives get saved. So if we need documentation of any conflict or things like that, it is nice to have. And we had one woman, her name's Pam. She's been to several of these, who had something she wanted to say for anyone who would listen. And we had an AmeriCorps local Johnson County servant they lost their USAID funding for Bridges Alliance, which helps with the unhoused here in Johnson County. We got to hear his story. The Daily Journal got to hear his story. And it's important because when we lose funding to things like that, it does affect our local businesses and economy. And we need to be hearing more about that. So it was awesome. I was smiling the entire time. I was exhausted afterwards, but it was good. We did it.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I'm so glad. We had a good protest here in Des Moines too, but we had them dispersed so much throughout the state that the Des Moines protest was a little smaller this past weekend, which is, I think, a good sign.
Absolutely.
We just literally got them in like all these small towns that you just wouldn't expect. So I just need to convince all those small towns now to start going live. If you're at a protest, go live. And Facebook has live too. So don't think that you can only go live on TikTok.
And Instagram, YouTube does have live. I think you have to get to a certain number of followers on YouTube, but you can also just set up your video camera and chop up clips as needed. And make sure that we're keeping this up. These small towns, like this needs to be a consistent thing for the next, until we get to someplace better.
I'm going to say the next
what
forever.
that looks like, but it's going to be a little bit.
Like, so you can see the wheels turning in your head when you said that. The next, oh shit, there's no end to this.
There isn't. And I keep, so kind of segueing, and I was in Washington, D.C. last week with Hoosier Women Forward. I graduate in 2 weeks. It's a women's, or people who identify as women in Indiana. They're prepping you to be part of politics in pretty much any capacity. So we went to D.C. We got to meet with 5 Democratic Congress people, and anytime I met with anyone who was involved in politics or organizing, I asked, what do we do? What else can we do? What are we not doing? And the same answer, and I'm going to start taking this as gospel because there really isn't a better answer, is the people have to do this. It isn't just Congress. It isn't just the Senate. It isn't just state or local elected officials. It is we, the people. It is literally going to be us doing what we're doing. And that might need to be modified. We might need to pivot as things evolve. But I think a lot of this is going to be intuition and instinct. And we have to keep this up to get beyond, right? Martin Luther King says that the arc of history leans toward justice, which gives me goosebumps to say out loud, because I was able to be at that memorial. I got to see the FDR memorial and read their words. And has Trump ever actually read what his predecessors or any of these other people have
I think it's fair to say Trump doesn't read.
He doesn't read, and he does not care.
He has no intellectual curiosity at all. He
doesn't. But I, Begito, hope that he gets to be the Pope, because if we can get him out of here and into the Vatican, then they can just arrest him there.
Oh my God, they're so upset that he made that parody of him. I'm sure he didn't make it, but they
should be upset.
They should be. He's like the anti-Catholic. He's the exact opposite of everything I would think the Catholics would want to be seen as. And then him putting that tweet out that said did you see it?
I did, and the White House reposted it, and the White House is reposting memes now?
Yeah, yes. Oh my God, the White House official social media is posting memes of him being the Pope. I saw them posting a May the 4th thing. May the 4th be with you. And it has him cloaked in all black, like the bad guys, and with a red lightsaber, which is also the bad guys. But also just going on this screed about how the May the 4th be with you, unless you're a lefty loony, crazy lunatic asshole. What the hell? This is the official White House account. It's mortifying.
It's propaganda.
Oh my God, yes.
It is total propaganda.
Propaganda that would be Stephen Miller. Miller.
Oh my Lord.
Hey, if you're not
I'm going to start calling him Tiny Putin.
Yes.
He looks like a younger version, or maybe a little more stoned version of Putin.
I would agree with you in only that's a good characterization, but I always saw him as Voldemort. To me, he just looks like the one who shall not be spoken. He just looks like pure, unadulterated evil. And there's a reason, because he is a horrible human being.
He is. He speaks like a horrible person, too. It's just amazing to me that people, and I say this every time, even my mother, they hear them say these things and they believe it. Totally truth. We're going along with it. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. And Steve Miller's not even just putting out propaganda. He's also putting out policy that we're going to teach kids to be little patriots, like little Hitler youth.
Yep.
He's just he's straight with it, like straight up. Yeah, this is what we're gonna do. What the hell?
I don't know, man. It's surreal. It's surreal. It's chaos.
Yeah. Oh, I heard the funniest nickname for our Secretary of Defense this week, and I know you've heard it, but I want to share it with everybody else. I was so tickled. Somebody on one of the talk shows called him Pete Kegs-Breath, and I was like, "Why didn't I come up with that? Why am I hearing this now after all these months?" Henceforth,
so
forevermore, I'm going to call him Pete Kegs-Breath. It's so funny. And him not being, I really genuinely think him not being fired is just because exactly the same as Walz getting a promotion to the UN is because Trump can't admit that these guys are so unqualified that they genuinely don't know how to do their job.
They don't. And it's so dangerous. I don't think people understand just how dangerous this is from just a military perspective.
I think that's true not only just with Pete Kegs-Breath and Waltz, who was just promoted because he needed to get out of national security, but also this stupid freaking parade he's going to do on his birthday. What in the hell?
Let's just open our borders up for an attack. Why don't we?
Right. Okay. So let's break this down for just a second, just from a civilian standpoint. So civilian standpoint, you've got, I presume, armored vehicles. I don't know about tanks. I assume so. And I'm going to guess he's going to trudge out some missiles and a bunch of marching infantrymen and some airplanes and some helicopters, I'm guessing. So already tens of thousands of dollars, just fuel, just labor, just fixing the freaking streets after you tear them up with those heavy armored vehicles. That's just a civilian standpoint. But Blythe, humor us. Tell me what that means from a military standpoint.
That's a good question, because if he wants thousands upon thousands of soldiers and a military force that's already not big enough, who's going to be guarding the things that the soldiers and troops are currently guarding?
How
does that work exactly?
That's a good question. Where are you pulling these troops from? How are you getting them to the District of Columbia? I mean, all of these logistics, they all mean something. All these logistics mean something. You're going to have to pull, just say 10,000 troops. From where? From the border? From aircraft carriers? From what duty stations? I guess Virginia has a lot. So does that leave Virginia completely unguarded? I don't know.
I don't know. And then okay, let's pretend we do this. Are we having local and state police forces take over? Like, what are we doing here? First of all. Second of all, as a former military person, parades are the absolute worst things to partake in. You're doing it in June. It's going to be hot as balls, and it's miserable. And not everybody supports him. Like, no. It's a logistical nightmare.
Oh my God, yes. Hey, where are they staying? Are they staying overnight? Are they shipping them in, shipping them out the same day? How does this whole thing work? And they're getting it all together in 1 month? This stuff would usually take, that kind of troop deployment would take, I don't even know how long that would take to plan. But they're all going to do it in 1 month?
Supposedly.
So
I hope it doesn't happen. I just think this is a total disaster.
What I saw price tag wise was $500,000. No, I'm sorry, $500 million. So $500 million to do this show of a dick. He just wants to show off his peen. For what? He's cutting at the same time healthcare for coal miners, food programs for kids, military benefits for veterans. I mean, every single thing that he's cut is accumulating to what? So we can spend it on people marching down the freaking street in their uniforms in the district during June. If you haven't been to the district during June, holy crap!
It was hot last week, and it was mostly April. Like,
yes,
it's not nice.
It is so muggy. It used to be a swamp. I mean, a literal swamp. I'm not even saying drain the swamp as like an ironic. It really used to be just a swamp.
Well, I mean, look where it's located in relation to the ocean. Of course, it was a swamp.
Right. Like, it's so muggy.
It's so muggy. It's a total nightmare. I hate it, and I was going to go somewhere else with that, and now I've totally lost it.
Well, Well, I'm just befuddled by that. I'm befuddled by him wanting to build a ballroom in the style of Mar-a-Lago at the White House, and him telling Meet the Press this morning that he wanted to do that and then have donors give the money for it. Just means that he's going to be, I guess, having people bribe him, or he's going to be, I guess, shaking them down. Different corporations that want to stay on his good side are going to pay for it. None of this is normal.
No, taxpayer dollars should be coming back to the taxpayers in any capacity possible, not funding a parade where he gets to sit on, it almost reminds me of like the scenes you see from ancient Egypt or Greece or Rome where the emperor is being carried by all of their slaves and indentured servants. Like it's this legit, all of this is just to make him look more opulent or successful. And he's really just trash.
Yeah, much the same. It reminds me of Saddam Hussein and his palatial estates. And that's why you need a big, ridiculous ballroom at the White House, which has not been needed in 250 years. But all of a sudden we need it now that we have a dictator.
Absolutely.
That's what that reminds me of. And then having special interest groups pay for it.
Yeah. Oh, also, not only does he want to take away like cancer research and things, he wants to take away Veterans Day.
I saw that. Oh my God, I could not wait to talk to you about this. Oh my God. I have put up with so much already, but my favorite holiday of the year is Veterans Day.
Same. Because it's my holiday. It's the only holiday you earn.
Oh, yes. And I love it because I can tell people, look, motherfuckers, women are veterans too. Yep. It is my favorite holiday of the year. So when he said that he wanted to call it Victory of World War I Day, and then have May the 8th as Victory of World War II Day, which that's not even accurate for the United States because we weren't only fighting a war in Europe. But oh my God, I swear to God, my head almost exploded off of my body. And I was like, why am I getting so upset? Why am I getting so upset? Oh my God.
It's exactly what he wants, though. It's total chaos. It's like he wants to redo the calendar. It wasn't good enough the way the Romans did it or whomever. Is this the Roman calendar?
Yes.
Yeah. Did I say that wrong? And now like everything just needs to be his.
Yes. But it's so weird. Okay.
It's so weird.
When his father got aged and he was old, and this is actually in many books, I think it might even be in Trump's books, when he got old and he was absolutely riddled with Alzheimer's, they would just put papers in front of him for him to sign just randomly, just papers, just to make him feel like he's busy, just to make him feel like he's doing something that's still productive. And this reminds me of what they did to his dad, doesn't it?
Oh my God, yes.
Right? They're just literally just putting papers in front of him every day so he can sign them and feel like he's still a part of this thing.
Yeah, but this is costing taxpayer dollars, like it will be billions of dollars by the time just in court.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean,
this fraud, waste, and abuse shit, you're not saving any money. You're losing billions just because the rich no longer have to pay any taxes because they wiped out the IRS. So it's really just the waste is what we're looking at. And we're all the waste, all of us. There's no fraud to be had, but there is waste. And those are the human beings that are being affected by all of these cuts.
Yeah.
And that's what they consider us. They consider us just expendable waste.
Yeah. And it's not just us as being liberals. It's anybody who's not part of the billionaire class.
100%. And the billionaire class, just like they always have, are playing the poor against the poor, the workers against the workers, every single time.
Every time.
And that's been for, 600 years. It's not new.
No. It just looks different. It has a different spin, and it's been spun for the last decade on social media as truth, but it's propaganda.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blech.
Absolutely. This has been in the works for quite some time. But now we're just taken over by social media. So, okay. So I'm going to, after we get off this podcast, I'm going to go work in Photoshop so that I can start Photoshopping on your knuckles, MS-13, so that everybody will think that you're a member of a gang, because nobody will be able to figure out that I Photoshopped that.
It's not even Photoshop. You know what I think happened is someone had like an old ass computer with old ass Microsoft Paint, and they just went in and put it, and that's like, that's how bad it looks. Like, I don't do AI. I don't actually know how to do Photoshop, but I could do better than that.
Yeah, I could ask
somebody
literally
to do better than that.
Yeah, I could probably ask somebody and they'd be like, hey, this is how you do it better than that. And Trump thinking that those, if you didn't see this interview, you guys, you missed out. You really need to look it up. Obrego Garcia has 4 fingers that have different tattoos on them. And some people theorize that they stand for MS-13. They don't say that. They're just pictures of different things. But Trump really thinks the photoshopped version of what they're supposed to stand for is an actual picture of this guy's fingers. And everybody with a brain knows that it's not.
Yeah.
So this poor reporter from ABC saying that's not what it's just interpreted that way. And Trump's like, I don't even know who you are. Who are you? Did you a favor. I don't even know you. You owe me. Stop saying that. Stop it. You're being a poopy pants. Just tell me I'm right. Just tell me I'm right. I'm going to have a fit if you don't tell me you're right. It just went on and on. This guy's trying to change the subject, and he's like, no, let's come back to this. Come on. Let's go. I saw it myself. I felt like I was in a fucking South Park episode.
It's really uncomfortable to watch too. It's so embarrassing. Yes. God, this is embarrassing. We are the laughing stock of the world. We literally are. Yes. And I'm not saying we were great before, but holy freaking.
Yeah. Well, Blythe, besides the Maine governor winning her lawsuit yesterday, I've got just about everything else covered. Did you want to cover the Maine? Because I didn't know about it until you told me. So tell me about the Maine governor.
It was the clip that I saw was really just her announcing that they had won it. I think it was against the USDA because Trump wanted to withhold funding for that, which would have affected schools' lunches, I believe. And he was just mad that Maine wouldn't disallow transgender women to play in women's sports. And that argument is so dumb. And even if it were an argument, we're talking about like less than 1% of the population, a smaller population than the billionaire class that is currently destroying our lives.
Crazy.
So.
Yeah, and that all streamed from they had a White House luncheon, I think, for the governors of each state.
Yes.
And he pinpointed Maine and said something to the effect of, well, as long as Maine stops letting transgendered women play sports, and the governor was bad-assed. And she said, I'll see you in court, mofo. And so she saw him in court, and apparently she won. So kudos
yes.
to Maine.
I'm glad she pushed back. It needs to continue. Please, Democrats and Republicans, start pushing back.
Yes. My God, that's what it all boils down to, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but I'm sure I would know it if I heard it.
Janet Mills?
Is that the Maine governor? Don't get me lying.
I'm pretty sure. I definitely think her name is Janet. I'm totally brain farting. I can see your face in my head. Pretty sure it's Janet Mills.
There's a first-time senator, though, from Michigan, and she did the State of the Union response, and I can't remember her name, but she made a great point on the Daily Show the other day, and she said that what we need is alpha energy. And that's what the Democrats need, the alpha energy. And this goes back to what you say and what I say, especially you, though. You phrase it in a different way than I do. You say that we need to match their energy. And she's saying the same thing. We need to match their energy. And their energy is alpha energy, where you just are the dominating one you're willing to fight. Mm-hmm. And that's what we need from Democrats. I don't expect it from Republicans. They've not shown any ounce of spine in 10 years. I'm not going to expect it now. But Democrats need to show that alpha energy, much like the Maine governor. She's showing alpha energy. So
and it's even just standing your ground. Like it doesn't have to be a big brawl, but just calling a lie what a lie is, saying misinformation or disinformation or that's not true. Like this is a lie.
This is
objectively a lie. I can back this up. Like it's just shutting it down.
Yeah. God. What events do you have coming up?
I honestly have no idea what's happening this week. Greenwood Pride in Indiana is June 7th. The plan right now, and it's not set in stone, but I think what I'm going to do is do a 2-hour block of protesting on June 6th with the 50501 movement here in Franklin. And on the 7th, I want to do another 2-block, but call it Protest and Pride. So we can protest in Greenwood and then head over to Greenwood Pride right afterwards to support them. And then we'll do something on June 14th. Someone had asked about getting a bus trip of people to get out to Washington, D.C., which I think is great. I don't necessarily want to organize that. But I think it's important to get to Washington if we can, but I also think it's important to still keep our communities in mind, of those of us who cannot afford logistically or financially or both, to make it out. Because when we have these hyper local events, you're not only showing your community that people are resisting this, you're showing people who may not be able-bodied or have a car or transportation, because in most of Indiana, we have no public transit. There's no way to get places if you don't have a car or cannot drive. So I like that. And I think it's also so fun because like I'm usually one of the youngest people there, but there were a lot of kids there and dogs and families and some people who just pop in for 20 minutes. So I'm going to try to make it over lunchtime so people can just pop in, come have a picnic with us, picnic, protest, pride, like whatever that looks like for you. Plan lunch around it, join us for a little bit and go on your way. So I'm going to try to focus on that.
Well, here's what's coming up for us. On May the 17th, we have our monthly meetup. But in addition to that, after our meetup, we are going to do a round robin of local politicians' homes and protest them. We're not going to tell people which politicians they are because I want to make sure that they're home.
Yeah.
So if you come to our meeting on the 17th at Smoky Row at 10 o'clock in the morning in Des Moines, then right after that, we will go with our bullhorn and our cowbells and our pots and pans and bang those in front of local political officials' homes to protest all of this egregious legislation they just passed this last session. So that the session will be over by then. So by that time, people will start forgetting. They'll start, what did they do during the session? I don't remember. It is our job to remind them from now until next session, everything they've done. So over the summer, I plan to remind them. And Jaden of our Sioux City chapter is doing the same thing. Zayden of our Sioux City chapter is doing the same thing. So if you're in the Sioux City area and you want to participate, let me know through the website, bitchesgetstuffdone.org. I'll put you in contact with Zayden. He's doing a round robin of his local elected officials. And then a couple weeks later, we're doing a round robin of like Steve Holt, who's out in the middle of nowhere. So several of the chapters are getting together and we're all going to go to Steve Holt's house. I'm not going to tell you the dirt because Steve Holt will make sure he's not there.
Yeah.
But he is so butthurt when we go to his house. It's amazing. I love it. So we'll go to Steve Holt and Jason Schultz's home, and he's a senator, and he's the one that kicked me out of the Bible study. So both of those guys live kind of close to each other. So that's what's coming up here. June the 6th, Bitches Get Stuff Done will be the ones putting on the Veterans Day protest here, and it'll be much like the yours. It'll be just a couple of hour block of protesting, probably at the state capitol, because there are no veterans in the 5051 program here, so they didn't feel comfortable putting on the veterans protest. So we'll spearhead that, but I've got to be up in Sioux City for Pride on June 7th. So I've been invited to all the different prides, especially being Kim Reynolds in the dunk tank again for Pride down in Des Moines. I'll take one for the team. I'll be in the dunk tank again. Hopefully it'll be nice like it was last year.
Nice. That is something you reminded me I need to do. If anyone in Indiana is listening and involved, I want to get a list of our local reps, their homes and churches. We need to get that going.
Yes. Every state needs a burn book like we have in Iowa. Yeah. It is so important. It does take a ton of work, though, getting all of their information together. So if we could put together even a team of people that will look these folks up and find their home addresses, we are very fortunate. We can find our team can find their cell phone numbers, too. That's harder to do. But we have all their cell phone numbers put on our website. And it's public information, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all I have. But did you know that most podcasts, 90% of podcasts, do not make it past the 20th episode?
Oh, I did not know that.
We are at 19 today.
Woo! Look at us go.
I know.
Well, unfortunately, we have content that doesn't stop.
I know, right? But that means that our longevity is definitely more solid and content aside. We are more dedicated to this than 90% of podcasters. So we have one more episode to be our 20th, and then we will be in the 10th percentile of podcasts that are still running. And now we figured out how to put it on all of the different platforms. So gravy.
We're experts now.
Oh God, so not true.
We are not, because we're still using Zoom to do this.
We're still using Zoom. We still don't plan for shit. It's 10 minutes before the podcast and we're writing down notes. What should we talk about today, Blythe? I don't know. Let me Google something.
Well, planning ahead, with the exception of events that are already planned, is a waste of time. Because one, there's too much news. There's so much news. Aaron Parnas is not keeping up.
Yeah, he's tired.
He should be.
Yeah.
He should be. We all are just zombies. I mean, I legit feel like a zombie most days. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just going through the motions.
Yeah. So that being said, we're just going through the motions, but I'm doing this full time. So go to bitchesgetstuffdone.org to get to our organization so that we can continue to do this. And hopefully one day Blythe will be able to do this full time too.
Oh my God, that would be so amazing.
It will happen. We just have to stay with the program, stay the course.
We will get there.
Okay.
Awesome.
So that being said, guys, HoosierBitchesGetStuffDone.org.
Yep.
To get a hold of Blythe, and just regular bitchesgetstuffdone.org to get a hold of me or any of the other chapters. We are up to 17 chapters now. Just signed on Utah, just signed on Alabama. And nice. I think we have a Texas that's fixing to come through too. So I think
yay!
I know. So we're slowly but surely making it, guys. So thank you so much for listening. Make sure you tell all your friends, family, compatriots, neighbors, anybody who will listen to log on and interact, listen to our podcast. Any other parting words of wisdom, Blythe?
Nope. Thank you all for being here. If you're still listening, we appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Bye.
Bitches get stuff done, that's a fact.